Alright, we're back with a desk job, and I tried my best to overload the Ozpost employee. Didn't quite work. They just brought it in several trips. In any case, I have a whole bunch of stuff in here, including a flat back cabinet and a bunch of stuff to upgrade all my network up here. We'll be doing an upgrade with all the cables and mess up there. We're going to put our cabinet together and neaten some stuff up. Now, there is a subscriber slash friend of mine here, Jake. He's been itching for me to get a cabinet for a long time, so he'll probably get in the comments and tell me all the things I'm doing wrong. So that's fine. I'm going to do some things deliberately wrong, I'm sure. Now, it's my senior engineer's 78th birthday today, so I've got to go and do a dinner out and share him a meal and whatnot. He's a Star Wars fan. You give you a shot of the cake in here too. In any case, I figure I've got a little bit of time before I've got to go do that, so I might put the couplers in this panel. I got sick of keeping track of all the terminology that changes about as quick as generational language does, so I may say some things wrong. Feel free to correct in the comments. I'll probably wake up at 8 o'clock in the morning, get offended and rant about it, so you might enjoy that. That does seem offset. That may be wrong. Let's find a Cat 5 plug or an RJ45 plug. Fortunately, I have a pile of these I ordered back in here. Are these going to be the good ones to open? Oh yes, reusable Ziplocs. These are nice little thin ones. I didn't think they were this thin. Oh, I like that. That makes really nice little short patches. Now, can we plug you in? No, we sort of can't. Okay, so that is upside down. First thing I've done wrong. I did do right, on the other hand, is make sure I tested one first instead of doing all of them before they, and then finding out that I've done them all wrong. That is just as frustrating. Okay, I've got them all stuck in there. Now these little thin ones, it's really nice if I want to go from one port and back to another, or even across to another bay. They're just about the right length. Alright, now we're on to managing some of the cables. I've put all my short cables in one bag to make life easy. These guys, I'm going to number them, and for that I have a label maker over here, and I have a whole bunch of label tape. Alright, that's all that done. Each one of these has their own number on it, although I should probably go through and check that all the numbers are correct. I'm sure I'll work that out when I go to hook them up to the DVR. Alright, we have the flat pack rack all laid out. Got the apprentice helping here. I'm going to put some screws in it. Hopefully we'll have a rack soon. Alright, now about this rack. Normally I would have gone to my local shop, known as the Electronic Barn. Got a rack from them. This one, however, was going as a return from another shop and extremely cheap. I think sub $100. I think probably because somebody ordered a rack, realized it was flat pack and went, I don't want to put it together. Now, one of the issues is when things get roughly transported, things are a little bit misaligned. This side's fine, but this one's kind of not, so I may have to re-drill these. Hopefully the door fits properly. Alright, another opportunity for mistake is putting these bits in. I think I've got them right. I've measured out a couple of holes. I have one of my panels here to measure if it will fit and if the distance will be enough for the door to close and still have a bit of cable room. The other consideration I've had is one of the shelves. I need to check how deep they are, so they will go in with enough room to clear the back, so that'll be good. Alright, next step, we're doing the rear ones, and because I've got a recessed board, we need to make sure that the recessed board has a bit of room to fit in the back and a little bit of room to space it off in case I need airflow, or I'm going to run a cable up behind that for isolation or something. Now I do have to say, these little Bosch things, I'm not sure where this one came from, but geez, they've got some grunt. Oakley dokley. So at this point it asks you to put the back on and the sides on and stuff. I'm thinking while the back is off, I'm going to put my power board in here and preferably not with my bare toes. And we should be able to get that in a lot more easily. And I'll work out which is the top. I think the vented bit is the top. We'll put it up high here so rising heat can go up and out without cooking other stuff lower down. And most of the power plugs I'm using, or plug packs, will have cables that hang down, so that'll give me room to manage the cables neatly down there. Okay, thanks to the apprentice's dexterity, we've got this power board in the back and all our rails mounted. The rack did come with a whole bunch of nuts, captive nuts and bolts, but they're hex drive. Weird. These are Phillips ones. You've got good dexterity there. You should be able. There you go. Perfect. All right. Now we need a couple of bolts to go in there. So there should be a pile of bolts beside me there. If you just get them started, that's all I need. And then I can get it. Whoop, I'll get it started from this end. Right. Your game calling, is it? All right. It's all good. That's good. It'll stop it falling out. That's all I need. Thank you. All right. We've got both shelves. The blanking plates will clip in. We've allowed 6 spacings for them to clip in, and this is loose for the moment because I intend to attach the cables and then put it in there. Right, last bit of work here, we're going to put the lock on the door. Apprentice might help with that. There is a bit of tape mark or a bit of scratching in here. Look, it was a little bit scuffed, but for the price I really can't complain. It goes towards me. Yep, that's right. Yep, okay. Now the door can lift off. Now we can put the door on your side, and you can put the lock through the lock hole and then put the nut on the other side. It's alright, and don't worry about tightening it. I'll get a spanner onto that and tighten it up later. So now you put the door latch on. Yep. You sit it on. I can hold that, and you put the screw in. This is the challenging bit. I can hold that. You put the screw in, and you might have to get a Phillips head screwdriver or the screwdriver beside me. Have you got it in loose, have you? Alright, that'll do. That'll be good. I can get the rest from there. Okay, it's assembled. Now I've got to make space for it. Okay, this is the hole. I've got to squeeze it in. It's a bit dusty and messy up there, but we do have a hole through there. So what I might do is worry about the knockouts before I put it up there. Knock out one of the bottom ones so I can come up from underneath my cable gantry. This is a desk made for my late brother's shed, and there are cables and all sorts of stuff everywhere under here. There's somewhere in the area of 700 of them running through in here. And all of this stuff as well. This is what I want to bid to try and neaten up, and hopefully it should make cleaning in here a little easier too. Right, I've moved a few things. I've made the gap about 600 wide. It should sit across there. The knockout I'm hoping should line up somewhere about there. I've only knocked out about that much of it. That's okay, that'll be enough to get the cables in. Alright, it's up there. Now I have to transfer everything. And we've got everybody using the internet at the moment. Good old Daniel here is using a lot, although I've given him a backup connection for when this goes down. Alright, I managed to find a way to get power in there, still through the UPS, but not interrupting all the other stuff. There is a big power board hidden in there, which most of the stuff's on, so that could be interesting to transfer it all. Alright, patch panel's in, everybody's been notified. Time to shut everything down and disconnect. Alright, step 1, the switch. Okay, bear with me. It looks like crap right now. That's fine. I didn't get the right length or number of these leads. I'll go get some more in the morning. This hopefully should make it work. This arrangement, this guy's going to sit up top here where the keyboard is. I'm going to move that somewhere else. So he gets good Wi-Fi signal. And these I'll get some longer patch leads, or I'll make some up. I still need to get all the power supplies across. Alright, I've got things a little bit more neaten. I still need to get a few more leads. This one's way too long. I'll make up proper one. This lead here is my desk PC. That's way too short, so I'll make a longer one of that. We are starting to make some sense of things in here. The router and the switch power supply in here, although that power supply goes down to my desk station where I have a battery switch over. Normally it's running through this backup supply. We'll worry about that later. And we have our DC supply here that definitely needs terminating properly at some point. And we have dust on everything. For the moment I'm going to leave the door off, leave me Wi-Fi antennas hanging out like that. This should fire up for the night, and I will work more on it tomorrow. There's a bunch of power leads in here that aren't relevant to anything in that cabinet. They may get plugged back in here. So I'm going to do that now, and we'll see how we go. Right, and if you're wondering how I have lights when everything's depowered, that's running off 12 volt solar. Alright, now's when we find out if I've messed everything up. Reset you. Okay. Let's see if things have come back on. Got a green light there. No light on that yet. Work that in a moment. NBN modem on. That might help. Alright, we have a green light in there. That's good. We'll see if stuff starts to come back online again. Let's see if my camera system comes back online. Okay, so I'm not seeing power to the camera system. That's not fun. There we go. Now we've got power. That should mean the DVR should fire up. Should see that up here in a moment. Alrighty, cameras are back online. Alright, computer's back online. Alright, pretty sure I've got internet back again, but let's have a look here. Okay, so I stayed up till 2 o'clock in the morning doing stuff on this. So this morning I went up to the bus stop, got on a bus because I figured I was far too fatigued to functionally drive, and it's only $2 for the bus. And I bought some stuff. So let's see what we bought that might help with this. Well, I gave myself almost a blister last night in my finger here using this knife here to cut the ends off those pass-through plugs, these things, the RJ45 plugs that are the through-hole ones. And so I bought a set of crimpers that actually have the blades on the back that chop that off automatically. That should make it a little easier. I also decided I was jack of making leads, so I bought a bunch of 1 meter patch leads. So now that I can move the router out the top, which will be nice. And yeah, so we'll get cracking with more data rack stuff. I should probably mention I put the door on last night and cleaned all the fingerprints off it. So that looks good now. I'm not sure if these blue bits are meant to come off or what they are. They're stuck on anyway. Not sure if they're like travel buffers or what. In any case, so we are starting to get things happening the way I want. We've got stuff coming in on yellow, stuff going out on green. The NTD comes in here and loops over to that side. There's a bunch of reasons why I might want to do that. In any case, these guys are going into the router. They're going to come off. Those 1 meter patch leads are going to allow the router to sit up on the top. I'll find a new home for the keyboard. That will give me clearer Wi-Fi signal. They'll come back into the terminal block here, and these yellows can patch across to greens that go back up to the switch or the router. Alright, our modem is up the top, but we do need to make a power lead extender, partly because that little yellow lead you saw, sorry, OFC lead you see running down there goes down to a switch here where I can switch it on and off and between mains and battery. So and I've just been out changing a diesel filter for a mate, so I'm a bit tired now, but I'll do that power lead later. But we are starting to get to what I wanted, which is all these patch leads just running along here, being able to make the connections up here, and I can put my blanking panels in here and stuff will hide away behind that, with some room for extra stuff. There is a Raspberry Pi 4 in here. I'm going to install that at some point as well. So we're doing all right. But yes, I've added the 3 extra router ports here just in spare slots. These things I can unclip them and move them around at any point. But they're the ones I'm not really using. I've got 2 spare couplers up there. If I want to run a couple of things in, I can reconfigure this pretty easily. But it does mean I can come up here at any point, find what I want, rearrange it. Now I do have the NTD cable coming in here, looping over to that and then back to the router. Probably not ideal, I may change that setup later. However, cable lengths made it a little difficult to do that. So I may make some more cables up. But my fingers are knackered and I've been making cables and writing labels, and I've got stuff all over the floor here I need to clean up. So I'm going to go do that, take a break, finish my electrolyte and have a snooze. Okay, well I've been sitting here staring at this thing and I couldn't help but feel like it looked a little bit cockeyed. So I ended up counting the number of bolt holes in the corner here, and this one was closer. I've moved this one out one, but to get to the top one here I've had to take this rack off. Fortunately this is pretty easy to manage, but I do appreciate these pass-through panels. So I'm going to get this little Bosch thing in here and redo that screw up the top now. Alrighty, that's bothering my OCD just a little bit less, and I was able to bump this up just a little bit. I'd like to get 2 blanking plates in here, but I don't think they're going to play ball right beside each other, but we'll work it out. In any case, I'm done for now.